We're back again in Clare in the west of Ireland for our annual visit to the Scott Bicycles Junior Tour of Ireland. Over 100 of the world's best teenage cyclists battling for a trophy won last year by the Frenchman Marin Jublo-Fer and for the previous 2 years, famously by Eddie Dunbar. So whose name is going on the trophy this year? Let's find out in the company of Cian Lynch.
And welcome along to our Stage 1 coverage, taking the riders from Ennis to Drumquin, a distance, as we see, of 6.2 kilometres, slightly high in the middle of it there, so a testing course for the riders, as we see David McCann give the Irish junior team a briefing before the start of this event here. Also the riders from Specialised over there as well, and some of the Hot Tubs team out warming up. The first rider to take off is, of course, rider number 1. And we see Jake Gray out on the road. Number 4 here is Ronan Toomey of the Irish team. You can see him just down low over those hoods. No time trial bars for this first stage. And now it's Noah Putt of the Hot Tubes team coming in. He was to finish 10th fastest on the stage. Logan Zuger, who will come in to record the 9th fastest time on this stage, a time of 8:45.74. Some of the riders there from the Specialised team. And now coming into picture is Wyatt Gurl from the USA of the Howlesco Citadel Hincapie team. After himself, it's Ben Walsh of the Nicholas Roach Performance team coming across the line, and he recorded time coming in 7th fastest. Now Matthew Cox of the Giant Halo team will come in, and he will be posting a fast time, let me tell you here. He's very fast across the line indeed, coming in a time of 8:41.89. His teammate coming in behind is Charlie Meredith, recording the 5th fastest time, 8:41.40. Now number 7 in the shot is Liam Howlesco of the Hot Tubes team, and he really is notching up a fast time here. We've seen 8:41s. Can he go close to the time? It's coming out 38:39.40. So he comes across the line in a time of 8:40.25. Now a rider who's won stages here, held the yellow jersey before, is Gage Hecht, and he posts a time coming in 3rd fastest in 8:39.68. A rider in shot here at the moment is Ryan Colton of the Great Britain Provisional team, and he really is posting a fast time here, coming in 8:37.73. And the final rider coming into shot here is Matteo Jorgensen of the Hot Tubes team. You can see him sprinting in towards the finish now. A powerful rider, and indeed he takes first place on the stage in a time of 8:31.11, and indeed takes the first yellow jersey of the Scott Junior Tour of Ireland. Now the Hot Tubes with quite a representation there. We can see 2 teams entered in.
What's it like to be the race leader after stage 1?
It feels good. I mean, I was very surprised with my legs, and we have 5 guys in the top 10, so I think it went very well.
So Matteo Jorgensen of Hot Tubes from the United States, who won last year's famous stage up Gallows Hill, is in yellow heading into the second stage. And that brings them round East Clare, starting in Ennis, finishing in Bearfield.
So on to stage 2, the riders ready to roll out the stage, taking the riders from East Clare into Bearfield. And rolling out from Tracy's Hotel, rider number 42, Ryan Colton, wears the green jersey as 77. That's Niall McAuliffe from the Munster Academy, tries to break away. It's a great opportunity for the riders here to get up the road. Unfortunately, he was reeled in. More attacks coming off the front there. And that looks as if it's Mark Whittle from the Sensa Munster Academy. Straight down onto the hoods there. Beautiful position as he tries to power away. Interesting to see, will the effect of last night's 6.2 kilometre time trial take any effect on the riders? I mean, you can see teammates coming across. There is Conor Grace with Ryan Colton in the green. Very much sitting on the wheels here, happy to let the riders try and formulate a break. It's very, very early in the race at this stage here. Very early into the stage indeed. Just having a quick chat with one another, seeing what the plan is, who's with them, and can they get more riders across to that breakaway. So Colton just sitting on the back, happy to mark this move, of course, with 2 teammates up and in effect trying to catch the leaders now is number 68, that's Dylan Ryan, riding in the colours of his club, Orwell Wheelers. Nice gap he has on the front, but you can see the power beginning to be put down across the front of the bunch, and now coming across to join him is none other than Ronan Toomey of the Irish team, right on the nose of the saddle here. Now that's commitment, and certainly looking to go forward to the other riders that are up the road now. Bit of trouble for Ryan here, bit of a problem for him. Just seeing, can the riders get back together? Is that a mechanical, is it a puncture? But it looks as if the two riders will join forces again, and we'll have to find out what actually happened there. Maybe the pressure was going on. They seem to be talking to one another. Maybe they're just sitting up, and certainly looking around his right hand shoulder there, Ronan Toomey seems to be waiting for the field. Still pressing on is Dylan Ryan. And for any one of these riders, the gap at the moment looking at about 8 or 10 seconds or so. And more attacks coming on now. This looks like a pretty powerful attack indeed. A rider from the Magnet Nicholas Roach team, it's Ben Walsh, tries to break away, takes a couple of glances around his shoulder and commits to going away. He has a nice gap even at this stage here, rolling towards 10 and 12 seconds. He begins to press on, and he will be given information by the race officials that he has a time gap. That will be confirmed very, very shortly. If it does go over 30 seconds, the neutral service on the motorbike will come into play. Now, the pack are chasing, and you can see the Irish team on the front pressing on. Oh no, desperation here for Ben Walsh. Looks as if he's taken a spare wheel as the mechanics sort him, and he's on his way once again through a right turn here. But that is disappointment, great disappointment for himself. Anything mechanical such as this can't set a rider back. And we're back to Cycling Ulster riders right at the head of affairs here, and the Hot Tubes team as well. Another rider won, looks as if it's Jake Gray, and another rider on his wheel is Gage Hecht, a former stage winner here. These are two powerhouses and an awful lot of track experience between themselves as well. A lot of chasing going on from behind. And amongst this group, Cole Davis from Specialized, Calvin Moore of Ulster, Bart Sidders is there as well. Conor Shunk there as well as they pass through the town here. And I can see right on the back there is Patrick Gossage from Leinster. But little commitment now from this bunch here. They're not willing to work together, and that is going to set them back a little bit. I expect you can see riders coming back on here. Rider number 27 making contact, that's Andrew Schmidt of the Hincapie development team. The fact that the riders are pedalling and perhaps soft tapping through tells a story in itself, as we got Micah Milne of the Howlesco trying to get across to the gap now. You see that position, we see it on the continental teams abroad where the hands are placed on the inside of the brakes and levers there. Not a position I'd favour indeed. Number 4 coming across again is Ronan Toomey, and this is a rider putting in a great performance today on the downhill section here. He's right down on the gears at the moment, checks for a couple of times to see has he got that gap. And one of the riders from the Specialized team there, Charlie Velez, and number 20 going through is Cliff de Pepper from the Zuidwesthoek team from the Netherlands, amongst that leading group. Great commitment from the riders here, and they'll take a preem of about 14 or 15 seconds across the top. That preem being taken by Cliff de Pepper and a chasing group behind. You can see Hot Tubes marking all of these moves as they crest the top of this time of this climb rather. The bunch lined out behind, and these preems will count towards the King of the Mountains at the end of the stage here. So single file very much. The riders having a quick talk to one another. And as rider 38, that's Theo Hartley, having a quick word with Simon Jones. Once more, Toomey on the left-hand side. Coming through is rider 23, that's Micah Milne. Also De Piper there. We saw him take the King of the Mountains preem. And 17 is Velos. All the riders rolling through. Oran Pearce of Skoda Munster and Riley Sheehan of the USA. They're right in between those groups. The Commissaire's cars working up ahead of the race, and Ger Madden there also supporting the race here as we've got 3 riders coming through the shot here. That's Milne, Toomey and Velez across the top of that climb, and they've distanced this pairing here. Conor Shunk and Kenny Boots of the Hot Tubes team chasing desperately and trying to get up to that trio up ahead. And that's Bart Sedders just up ahead of the main field, perhaps looking to go across, but really riders looking at one another at this stage, and any of the teams that are represented up the front will simply mark the front of the field here for the moment. Ireland well represented at the head of the field. You can see Hot Tubes beginning to put the power down now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is the benefit of having 2 teams in the pack, and the 8 riders well represented. In the yellow jersey, Matteo Jorgensen, and a major attack now from Cole Davis looking to go away. Well, this is a superb attack, and he really is on the limit here as he sweeps around the left hand turn. We can see Toomey still out ahead of him as the Hot Tubes team dominate at the head of the chasing field. Now looking very, very comfortable, Matteo Jorgensen, and right up ahead of the field there is one of the riders from Howlesco, looking very, very comfortable across the top of that peak there, and rider 17 coming through. Well, that's Velez in second place, so confirmation coming through. Conor Shunk, rider 24, is leading, and Velez is in second place, and the dominance right across the head of the field. So riders working together, they're well represented. Howlesco on the left hand side, and you can see Hot Tubes towards the front as well. And one of the riders from Ulster just sounding a presence at the head of the field. They're over the third Kingdom Creams for today. This is Velez in second place, still well up ahead of the pack and chasing, trying to get up to the rider who's broken away up ahead is called Davis. So the 2 riders now have made contact. Rider 16 and 17 from the same team, so they know one another well, talk to one another, take turns of about 30 seconds. When it's only a duo like this, they'll do 30 seconds or so up the front. And the leader is Conor Shunk, rider number 24, still working well. Jorgensen looking comfortable, just minding the wheels. He's well guarded at the moment. And Conor Shunk again in picture here, going uphill, perhaps looking to see what watts he's putting out as he looks over the left hand shoulder, which indicates to me that the field may well be coming up upon him. He'll have to be guarded as he takes this left hand turn, and indeed he'll be disappointed after that big effort out the front to see the field coming across. So it's Howlesco on the front with Hot Tubes, and it could well come down to a bunch gallop. Indeed, it looks as if it will be. They'll have to mind that island as they race through, coming in towards the finish now. Expectation, but perhaps these young guys would like to be part of this one day. The sprint is on, and riders spread right across the front. Coming first across the line is Colton Brookshire, taking the sprint win into Bearfield. And second place, Jake Gray, Gage Hecht, Simon Jones and Jamie Ridley taking the jerseys across. So the blue jersey being presented to the stage winner, and a brilliant sprint from himself. It's Colton Brookshire of the NCCF Team Specialised. Taking the yellow jersey today, very much retaining that, will be Jorgensen, Matteo Jorgensen of the Hot Tubes team, as Alice Sherratt presents him with the bouquet of flowers.
It was a good enough day out. We had one man running in the break today, which sort of took the pressure off us for any chasing, but that was brought back, and there was a crash actually with about 10k to go, and Robert and Ronan both came down, and unfortunately Ronan's away to hospital, but we'll see how he is later this evening, I think.
We secured the lead today still, and we just tried to keep a tempo on the front, not roll our legs out, but not let any moves up the road, and just kept it under control the whole day, so it was good.
Very good sprint victory then for Colton Brookshire of the United States and Team Specialised, ahead of Jake Gray of Ireland, and the 2 Hot Tubes men, Gage Hecht and Simon Jones. 3 out of the top 4 with Hot Tubes. Matteo Jorgensen remains in yellow. On to stage 3 then, which starts and finishes in Ennis, bringing them around the cliffs of Moher and Lahinch.
The day is in took him, and he was back on his bike. That's Eddie Dunbar for those of you who don't know.
Former double winner of the Junior Tour of Ireland is Eddie Dunbar. And he's having quite a splendid season. Second place in the National Time Trial Championships quite recently. I think he finished 7th overall in the road race. He was part of that early break in the race. Great to see him supporting the event once again. And Alexei Roach right at the head of affairs here today as the race rolls out. Quite a calm atmosphere here for the riders as they depart from the offices of Clare County Council. Great support down through the years from the various local authorities as the lead car begins to roll out. Riders here at ease ahead of the pain. So an early break by rider number 22 is Dennis Martins as the riders begin to check over their shoulders to see who is coming upon them. But he is persevering, let me tell you, out the front. And Dennis Martins riding from the Zuid-Westhoek team from the Netherlands. Nothing really seeming to go off the front at this stage, but some of the riders that are getting off the front include some of the Irish team. Very much broken up at the back of affairs, and a small group has indeed gone off the front at this stage. The riders coming into focus include Robert O'Leary, who's at the front of the bunch there for the Irish team, sweeping down to the left hand side here. Quite a big pack. You can see once again on the front here O'Leary quite happy to steer the field for the moment. Number 9 pushing forward is Evan Klaus of the Hot Tubes team, and here is a marvellous position here. Rider number 28 Charlie Meredith featured 5th or 6th or so on that opening time trial stage, and Noah Putt of the Hot Tubes team. Now the two riders working very, very well together. And one of the cycling Ulster riders trying to go across, none other than Gage Hecht, marking the moves. He knows that he's got a rider up the road already. And a small group here, Jake Gray at the front riding number 1. So these two riders, bit of conversation between the two of them. 28 and 12 is Noah Putt and Charlie Meredith, making decisions whether or not we should press on. And here's one of the teammates of Charlie Meredith. It's Matthew Cox riding with O'Leary here. Riders working well up and over at the moment. Number 44 on the inside there is Aaron Kuyten moving up on the inside of the field. Conor Murphy of the Irish Tramhead team in that break there. As the riders approach in the distance, and they'll be told by their team managers as well, watch out for the towns that we're passing through. Always an opportunity for riders to make a breakaway. And right at the head of the affairs there is one of the riders from the Nicholas Roach Performance team, sponsored by Magnet.ie. Beautiful scenery on the left hand side there, and that indeed marks the fact that they're coming into Le Hinch riders taking time. But Meredith looking for the riders to press on. Now this shows that he's looking for a GC ride. He'd be looking to see who in that group had a good ride in the individual time trial, who may contest for the general classification later on. So Logan Zuger and Matthew Kahn, and number 12 going through there. The shot is Bjorn Larson as well. So you can see the pressure being put on. Riders changing on the left hand side, which tells me that the wind is coming over the right hand shoulders. And some of the riders from the Great Britain team right at the head of affairs there. And pressing on, looks to me as if it could indeed be Alexei Roach. About 15 riders or so in this group here as they sweep down through the right hand bend here. Riders calling to one another, watch left, watch right for the cars, and another tight left hand turn for the riders here. We can see Hot Tubes very much present in this group here. Look at them in 3rd place, and rider 24 leading across the bridge now. So not such a sedentary pace, let me tell you. Chasing group here. Looks as if that group could well have consolidated, and it's some of the Irish presence in that group as well. We can see 2 of the Irish team riders towards the back of that group. and it looks to me as if we could have a problem here. Indeed, the riders have been sent off course. Now, this will be up to the commissaires to correct that issue. Beautiful shots here of the cliffs of Moher. Unfortunately for the riders, they'll not be too interested. So it's up to the commissaires to correct this wrong. And what they will do is they'll give the time gap back to the leaders. They'll set them off and they will halt the main bunch and again set them off afterwards here. Now, as the riders descend Moher Hill, you can see one of the riders from Great Britain at the head of affairs. But it doesn't look to me as if all the 15 riders or so that we saw are in this leading group. Two of the Irish riders towards the back. And amongst those who have dropped back, it looks to me as if it could be one of the riders from the Hot Tubes team. And if it is, it's Matthew Conn. Matthew was part of that early break of 15 or so, and he's slightly off the back, so he will be rather disappointed with that. So too will the team. Another one of those riders off the back at this stage is Andrew Schmidt, rider number 22, coming into shot. So those two riders are off the back of that breakaway group, and that will be disappointment for themselves and for the team behind. We'll have to wait and see, will that information be communicated back to the main field? Perhaps it has been, because we begin to see Hot Tubes on the front, and they're chasing feverishly behind. If the information has been communicated, they do not want to lose out. The yellow jersey is in the main field, and he had a rather slight gap, let me tell you, only 6 seconds or so back to second place from that first stage time trial. So I'm not sure what that instruction was as the riders come across this preem here. Owen McLaughlin taking the King of the Hills ahead of Cameron Biddle from the Great Britain team. Another shot back to Andrew Schmidt, and he's still chasing on the downhill and peddling in squares perhaps at this stage. Matthew Conn just ahead of him. Doesn't look too comfortable on his bike at this stage, but a rider who certainly does is Robert O'Leary up ahead. Also up there, Logan Zuger, Conor Murphy, Cameron McIntyre and Wyatt Gorrell. Some of the other riders coming into shot there. Rider 29 is Cole Davis, and 72 on the inside there is Jack Williams. So these riders working very, very well. You can see the shots are being called by that breakaway team, and attacks will surely follow at this stage here, because they're coming in towards the finish now. Perhaps 3 kilometres to go, and indeed it's an Irish rider attacked on the right hand side of the road. It's Robert O'Leary. Let's see is the reaction from behind, because the Hot Tubes team will look to mark this great effort. Sprinting low down, checks once over his right hand shoulder, and he's accelerating all the time. You can see he's on the big ring there, and he's at about 2.5 kilometres to go, and even at this stage he's got a vital 8 seconds there. Checks once more, and he's just going to have to put the head down and drive in towards the finish. Robert O'Leary of the Irish team looks set perhaps to take this third stage of the race. It could well be that he takes the stage number 3, Robert O'Leary. This would be a great stage for himself. Let's see, can he persevere in towards 1.5 kilometres, and he's within sight of the finish line. Ronan O'Leary set to take the third stage of the Scott Junior Tour of Ireland, raises his hands and does so in fine style. Second place going to Dylan Corkery, third place Evan Klaus, fourth place Owen McLaughlin, and fifth Cameron McIntyre. What a superb win for Robert O'Leary. Eddie Dunbar knows what it feels like. He's taken stages and indeed the overall before. He'll be giving out great advices, let me tell you, to the O'Leary Stone teammates from Kanturk as the Irish team settle down and perhaps enjoy the stage 3 win, courtesy of Robert O'Leary.
Excellent stage win today. What was the key moment?
The last 3k over the top of the drag, I just jumped away, and the lads were saying it stalled and the gap went out, and I just held on.
Somewhat unusual day. It's the stage that normally wears a lot of people down. It's the one where Eddie Dunbar made the big break famously a few years ago.
Yeah. It was very windy, and the pace was high in the break, so it was a tough day.
So a new wearer of the green jersey. And significantly too, a new wearer of the yellow jersey as well, Charlie Meredith from Britain, from way down in the southwest.
Well, I kind of got into the break. I sat on them for a little while, and then I looked back and realised we had quite a gap, so I started working fairly hard, and then I drove it all the way to the finish.
You knew at that stage you'd a very good chance of yellow then?
Yeah, I calculated who was in the group, and a lot of the hot tubes guys were, well up there in the TT. There was, I think, 3 of them ahead of me because I was 5th there. And I didn't recognise anyone else was close to me, sort of too close. One guy did go off at the end, but yeah, I saw, we caught him in the sprint, so, well, not caught him, but we got near to him, yeah.
What goes through your mind at that situation then? You're obviously calculating, well, I've got a good chance, looking around, taking an account of numbers.
Yeah, I just sort of, in the last sort of 5K, I sort of sat on maybe a bit more and marked people because I was concerned. I didn't know exactly which time everyone was on, so I just rolled in and sprinted hard at the end, yeah.
Stage 3 taken by Ireland's Robert O'Leary. A good surge away towards the end with Dylan Corkery and Evan Clowes 2nd and 3rd, but Charlie Meredith takes the yellow jersey, sharing time with Matthew Cox, his Great Britain teammate from Giant Halo. Stage 4, and we did this for the first time last year, very popular, back again, starting and finishing in Ballyvaughan over the Wild Atlantic Way.
So stage 4 takes the riders from Ballyvaughan via the Wild Atlantic Way. The information perhaps been communicated to the bar. Now once more the riders line up and roll out from Ballyvaughan back into Ballyvaughan later on after a couple of climbs, and the first attack of the day is from Calvin Moore of Ulster. Not too much reaction from the bunch, but one factor which is going to be rather dramatic for today's stage is going to be the wind. And if you look at any of the flags roadside, you can see the effect that the wind is going to have on these riders here. The fact that it's a circuit means that they'll have the benefit and also the disadvantage later on, perhaps the head or crosswind for the riders. 71 is Marcus Harrington of Leinster, and also up there Matthew Armstrong of Cycling Ulster. And these riders just tailing onto that attack from the 3 riders at the front now. Marcus Harrington, Matthew Armstrong and Ryan Potter from Connacht at the front. And another reaction from behind. Hot Tubes know this race very, very well. They've held yellow, so they know you need to be in the breaks. So they're willing to send riders up the front. Remember, they've got 2 teams here as they take a really fast sweeping left-hand turn here. The riders, they're off the brakes at the moment. One of the Irish riders coming through there. You can see the pressure is on here. They're taking the corners as tight as they can. Not so behind the field, are chasing the yellow jersey of Meredith right up there at the head of affairs. So it's one of the riders from Cycling Ulster there as they begin one of the ascents today, Corkscrew Hill. You can see the pressure being applied there right at the head of affairs. Mark Heaney from Ulster leading ahead of Owen McLaughlin from Connacht. Etienne Georgie is there, Evan Clowes from Hot Tubes, Aaron Carney from the Magnet Nicholas Roach team as they near the top of Corkscrew Hill. And interesting to see the yellow jersey, Charlie Meredith, right up there at the head of affairs as Bjorn Larsson of Holoweski ahead of the bunch here. Another one of the riders from the Giant Halo team, indeed the team of Meredith, is happy to be off the front at this stage, and that is Etienne Georgie of Giant Halo. Now it would seem to me that Meredith is happy to put his teammates up the road. They've got numbers to play with. They had a 5th and 6th in that individual time trial on the very, very first stage. So that gives them cards to play, and that is the reason that we've got Etienne Georgie of Giant Halo up at the head of affairs. Now reaction coming from behind, and we could see the Howlesco team reacting. That is Bjorn Larsson trying to get across at this stage. And persevering, Etienne Georgie, he'll have communication back that the gap is over 30 seconds at this stage. You can see he's in the big ring, quite high on the back, perhaps on a 21 or 22. on the back here, but riding really, really smoothly, really well controlled. You can see he's got 2 water bottles there, so important that he drinks little and often. Ronan Toomey for Ireland trying to get across there. You can see Meredith marking the wheels out of the saddle, but great focus from himself. And that leading group that we can see just up the road, we can see Meredith marking the moves. 32, Etienne Georgie perseveres, and he's now beginning to go down through the gears and beginning to power on. This is a great effort for himself as he sweeps left and down the hill. Greater effort for himself now as he looks into the distance, and that's Castle Hill up ahead of him. He's been chased by Bjorn Larsen, and you can see the effort beginning to take its toll now as he crests the top of Castle Hill. The gap will be communicated to him, but there's 4 riders trying to get across, and at this stage the gap, it's about 8 or 10 seconds. Coming through the shot, Cole Davis, Hecht, Jake Gray and Bjorn Larsen, and the main field just behind the yellow jersey. The gap being communicated at this stage at 1 minute and 5 seconds, so it could well be the case that this leading rider stays out, or he may well be joined by the 4 others chasing behind, and the winner certain to come from this pack. So getting a drink of water into himself here, Jake Gray rolls through looking very comfortable, let me tell you. And now the 5 riders have joined together, and it looks as if it's a break from the junior national champion, and none other than Hecht is out the front. Now the riders up a slight drag here. You can see in single file gaps beginning to appear. Riders not looking to drop the wheel because the stage and perhaps general classification honours are up for consideration at the end of this 4th stage, and it's going to be an individual win at this stage. What a fantastic win it's going to be for Bjorn Larsen from Howaleski Citadel. A brilliant win. Coming in for 2nd place is Etienne Georgie. Well, he was out front all day, and what a fantastic result. 2nd place for the Giant Halo rider. In 3rd place, Jake Gray from the Ireland team. 4th going to Cole Davis from the NCCF team specialised outfit, and Gage Hecht, former yellow jersey holder here at the Hot Tubes team. He'll be disappointed, but 5th, a reasonable result today. Great win by Bjorn Larsen. And a rider happy to retain the yellow jersey is Charles Meredith.
Maybe with 30k left, I saw Gage Hecht go up the road, and I was like, you know, he's really strong, so I jumped up on his wheel. 2 other people joined us, and we looked back, and we had a gap, so we just kept rolling, and then we picked up the lone giant guy up the road, and 6 of us just rotated. And then about 6k left, I kind of just rolled off the front, took a sip of water, and I looked back, and I had a little gap, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to go. And I just went for it, and then I held it to the line.
You retained the yellow jersey today. It was a fairly tough day out there, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the hills, I made it tough, and in the crosswinds it was tough, and it was just, you know, luckily I had my teammate up there that made it a bit easier, but yeah, it was a tough day.
So you hit Corkscrew Hill, and you also did the burn today as well. You had the crosswinds, you had the rain. Did you have tactics today when you set out?
Yeah, we definitely did. We're not a big team, like, you know, we're not like Team Sky or anything like that, so we can't just have men sat on the front. That wasn't what we were going to do today. So instead, we had a plan, and that was to get someone up in the, you know, get as many of us up in the break kind of thing, and then obviously Hot Tubes and some of the bigger teams would have to chase, but it didn't quite work out like that. However, it made it a lot, took off the pressure, yeah.
Yeah, it's great to see it. Nothing's changed weather-wise. Very strong crosswinds, and very similar to Tour de France actually conditions at the moment.
Of course, the weather has made a lot of difficulties for the riders. Lots of breakaways as well.
And very difficult. Crosswinds and the Burren. I don't think there's anything tougher. It's like Mont Ventoux yesterday. I think very similar to the Burren mountain range. Anyway.
Now, of course, the Junior Tour of Ireland, sponsored by Scots, gets more recognition every year. The riders. It's great to see Eddie Dunbar here this year as well.
It's great. Look, it's a junior university. It's imperative that the sport is protected, and that's definitely underage, and its infancy needs to be protected. And it's great. It's great. It's a great university to participate in, sporting university, and it's a great camaraderie on the road. It's great to see it.
And there's been a lot of breakaways, and of course yesterday was a big turnaround in the field as well. The yellow jersey and all that all changed. It's been an extraordinary race this year.
Very extraordinary. Certainly, it's a very, very tough race, and it's not for the weak. You certainly want to know how to read a race, and certainly want to know how to ride in the crosswinds and be clever around echelons and things like that. So it is a very technical race as well. As you have to be certainly the fittest man in the race. There's no hiding in this race.
Very hard to predict a winner.
Very hard, but look, once everybody's safe, that's the main thing, and hopefully, of course, the best will certainly rise to the top in this race. No room for hiding.
An excellent breakaway towards the end of stage 4 into Ballyvaughan. Bjorn Larsen taking the victory. Hard luck Etienne Georgie, who'd led for most of the way. Charlie Meredith still leading in yellow ahead of his team colleague Matthew Cox. Robert O'Leary of Ireland now up to third. The penultimate stage is the famous one, all the way up Gallows Hill. This can make or break the tour for many.
A decisive stage for anyone with an eye on the yellow jersey. None other than Charles Meredith, and he really has defended the jersey very, very well. You can see his focus even on the road. Giant Halo team making some notes, and here's a team, the Hot Tubes team. Perhaps they're looking to put riders up the road, and right from the gun, that's exactly what they do. Gage Hecht is off the front with Joe Swinnerton of Swinnerton Cycles. Now Hecht, former yellow jersey wearer, former stage winner, is a rider full of power, let me tell you. Oren Pearce coming across, Wyeth Gorrell of the Holoesco team, and Noah Putt. This could be quite a combination, the 5 riders up the road. But the bunch has reacted immediately, and perhaps they know the strength of Hecht. Unsuccessful attacks at this stage. The field all together as they come through. Shot here, 1, 2, 3, 4, only a 2-second gap or so. And the yellow jersey, you can see his head raised there, just keeping an eye on what's happening up the road. Calvin Moore and Ronan Toomey are at the front here, the 2 riders looking to establish a gap, but they've only a handful of seconds on a couple of riders looking to get across. In shot here is Andrew Schmidt of the Hincapie team, Kenny Boots and Matteo Jorgensen. And it's Gage Hecht, rider number 5, who is the powerhouse and certainly a rider to watch for any of these stages, and this is indeed himself looking to get across to that group. Slight downhill at this stage. Rider 81 coming into shot is Riley Sheehan of the Munster Academy, sponsored by Sensa, and rider 6 there is Zuger of the Hot Tubes team as they sweep to the left hand. Riders commanding a very tentative lead. You can see the riders checking over their left hand shoulder just to see what the gap is. 3 riders confirmation. We've got Gorrell there, Zuger and Riley Sheehan working well together, up and over, doing turns of about 15 or 20 seconds or so. You can see the neutral service car tucked in behind them, which means that the gap at this stage is over 1 minute as they sweep through town. Just having a quick word with one another. You can see sweeping over the left hand shoulder there, just trying to get a sense. And we've got one of the Irish riders looking to get across here. Just wait for confirmation. Indeed, number 2 is Cameron McIntyre looking to get across. So David McCann giving instructions as team manager, former winner of the Ross and multiple Olympic road contestant and time trial contestant, giving great advices to the Irish team. Great to have himself on board as director sportif for the Irish team this week at the Scott Junior Tour of Ireland. 3 riders persevering up front, Gorrell, Zuger and Sheehan, and trying to get across is rider number 2. That's Cameron McIntyre of the Irish team. David McCann right behind him, and he'll be shouting and conveying the time gaps at all stages. Some riders trying to get across, and you can see one of the riders at the back here. It's Sheehan of the Munster Academy, having to dig in quite hard now at this stage. This is the penultimate climb of the day. The final climb is going to be Gallows Hill, and the rider trying to go across at this stage, if we can see in the distance, indeed it is Charlie Meredith, has passed by Cameron McIntyre. Now the reaction from behind, looks on the left hand side, is Alexi Roach of the Magnet Nicholas Roach team. It's imperative that the riders react at this stage, because this is where the race is going to be settled. We've seen Dunbar win, we've seen Michael O'Loughlin win, 2 years ago. Can we see another Irish winner? The yellow jersey just tagged on. On the right hand side you can see Meredith. On the left, to me, it looks as if it's Robert O'Leary here. He's well up on GC, only 3 seconds down on Meredith. Meredith is on his wheel at second place. Can he take the win here? Robert O'Leary been encouraged by the fans at the roadside, but as Meredith reacts on the right hand side, he's putting the pressure down. Only 50 metres or so from the finish line here, and indeed it's Meredith takes the win, confirming his position as yellow jersey. In second place is Colton Brookshire of the Specialised team.
How the hell did I do that? Last-minute drop, to be honest.
Ben Walsh of the Magnet Nicholas Roach team in third, Robert O'Leary in fourth. What a valiant effort it was.
Didn't expect it. I honestly thought I did too much yesterday.
Fifth place going to Etienne Georgie of the Giant Halo team, and you can see the reaction from Charlie Meredith, and you can see what it means to himself and his teammates. This is the crucial stage. He should by right take that Scott Junior Tour of Ireland yellow jersey all the way to the finish.
An exciting day for you.
Yeah, very exciting day. I can't believe it, to be honest. I thought I did too much yesterday and I didn't want to give it away, and I'm astonished. Yeah.
How did you place yourself coming up Gallows Hill?
I was actually too far back at the bottom. I was sort of nearer the back actually, but then I moved up on the flat section and I came into it like 4th or 5th onto this steeper section, and then the guy who was 3 seconds off me from Ireland, Rob O'Leary, I think it is, started coming around me inside, and I thought, damn, and then obviously on the steeper part I was at the front and won.
And the other King of the Hills today, what were they like for you?
Well, one of the sections, my teammate Etienne Georgie did a great job chasing back one of the breaks. I had a dangerous rider in for me, so that was quite hard to see him sitting on up there. And then the longest climb, around 10 minutes, I attacked up there and put people under pressure, so it's hard day.
So tomorrow it's around Ennis.
Yeah, let's see what we can do. We'll get the team working, and let's hope we have a good day.
Final question: your team today, did they help you?
Oh, my team covered everything. We talked tactics last night. Sorry, my team, they did a massive job for me today. I really owe it to them. Completely owe it to them. They did a great job. Thanks to them.
Realistically, the mark of a true champion. Charlie Meredith in pole position heading into the final stage. Colton Brookshire, Ben Walsh, Robert O'Leary just behind. It's Charlie Meredith with a 3-second lead now over Robert O'Leary. Ben Walsh in third, Evan Clowes 4. And it's the loop around Ennis, finishing just outside Clare Castle, that will decide the 2016 Junior Tour.
And another chance for perhaps a different rider to take a stage. Charles Meredith having taken that stage atop Gallows Hill yesterday and retaining the yellow jersey as leader of the Scott Junior Tour of Ireland. Many of the riders relaxed before the start of this circuit race, has always produced fantastic results and worthy winners indeed. 77.5 kilometres as the riders roll out. The green jersey being worn by Colton Brookshire, who finished second on that stage up Gallows Hill. Small breakaways beginning to go away, but you can see the yellow jersey reacting immediately, and he's up at the head of affairs. That's Charlie Meredith from the Giant Halo team. Another rider looking to break away at this stage is Logan Zuger of the Hot Tubes team, and building up a nice lead, but reaction from behind the Irish riders. And the rider number 1 is Jake Gray, right at the head of affairs there. Specialised represented Hot Tubes, and of course the yellow jersey of Charlie Meredith at the head of affairs here. Quite strong out at top of this drag here, and that's going to wear the legs of already weary riders' legs after Gallows Hill yesterday. So rider number 6, it appears, trying to go away, and that's Logan Zuger, who was up the road indeed yesterday, and he's been joined by one of the Giant Halo team riders. It appears it could well be Matthew Cox. The two riders will work well together, well represented behind, remember, and their teams, Giant Halo and Hot Tubes, at the head of affairs behind. They can control it as much as they need to. If they want to let these riders go out and take a gap of 30-45 seconds, The magic marker, rather, is 1 minute for every 10 kilometres, and that's how much the bunch can claim back from any leading group. This circuit, it's a little bit different with that drag at the back of the circuit here, so riders already eating and drinking. Jake Gray there, guarding any breakaways at the front of the group. Now we've got 3 riders at the head of affairs, and let's see who they are. It looks like it's one of the, could it be Larson, former stage winner, at the head of affairs there. More breakaways beginning to go up the road there, and we can see rider 14 from the Hot Tubes team, but the Giant Halo team marking what is happening. Robert O'Leary coming through the shot there, 4th in yesterday's stage winner already indeed, and he'll be proud to wear that blue jersey. It's Jake Gray powering as expected here. You can see him at the head of affairs here. Through the shot is Hecht coming through, number 5 national champion, junior champion that is, of the United States. Logan Zuger is there for company, and so too Alexei Roach. And the riders working very, very well together. They've been joined by Mika Milne. A flick of the right hand shoulder there, Charlie Velez, and one of the Ulster riders now, a leading group of 4 riders up the road. We've got Velez is chasing again. We can see one of the riders who's been dropped on a previous lap perhaps, and the field spread right across the road, so not much reaction from those riders in the main field. Perhaps happy to let the Hot Tubes team and Alexei Roach. Wouldn't it be fantastic if we could see that Roach name up at the top of the podium for later on today? It's stage 6 of the Scott Junior Tour of Ireland, and it's the last opportunity for any one of these riders to take a win. So riders been reeled back in. We can see the 4 riders up here at the head of affairs. Zuger goes through, Hecht, and it's one of the Irish team, Cameron McIntyre, at the head of affairs, and right sitting on his wheel is one of the riders from the Giant Halo team, that team of race leader at the moment, Charlie Meredith, sitting in the top 20, right where he needs to be at this stage of affairs. So the gap being given at 45 seconds at this stage to the leading 4 riders. So perhaps that's a bit of a concern here for Meredith as he begins to move up on the right hand side of the field, and look how comfortable he is. Really, really comfortable on the bike here, passing up on the right hand side, applying a bit of pressure as they sweep left, and really beginning to take control of this event here. One of the Cycling Leinster riders right towards the back of the field now. This is the main field, riding at 45 seconds down. Zuger leads through, Hecht on his wheel, Alexei Roach. 4 riders, you can see Patrick Gossage there from Cycling Leinster just sitting amongst the lead of that group, perhaps hoping that some riders will go off the front that he can tack on and close the gap to the leading quartet at the moment. Now the 4 riders that are off the front, Larson at the head of affairs there, Gage Hecht, Alexei Roach and Logan Zuger, and they'll be given notification that they're coming into the final lap, the main field at this stage. That gap has been confirmed to them, and it's the yellow jerseys team of Halo Giant right at the head of affairs here, leading the field. The gap communicated between 45 seconds and 50 seconds at this stage. Hecht on the front, Alexei Roach at the back. Oh no! Oh, Larson has had a mechanical or such, seemed to slip his chain, and he's off the trio now. It's only 2 left in the lead, Alexei Roach and Gage Hecht. Hecht has to be a great sprinter, and Alexei Roach is really going to have to mind himself if he wants to take this stage 6 here. Great support at the finish here as they race in towards the finishing ends, and it's Hecht. He has the upper hand. Hecht it is, takes the stage. Frustration for Alexei Roach, and the sprint in towards the finish here. The green jersey right at the head of affairs, it's Liam Wilson of Cycling Ulster takes 3rd. Colton Brookshire in that green jersey takes 4th. Indeed, there he is, Colton Brookshire, 4th on this stage, 2nd on yesterday's stage. Mr. Consistent and the Hot Tubes team really, really happy with their result today, taking a stage win as he did last year. Former yellow jersey holder in the Scott Junior Tour of Ireland.
So Case, well done. You have won the final stage here. I mean, you had to come out of Clare with something.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited to have won the stage, and I mean we did pretty well overall in the GC from what I've heard. Evan was still top 5, I believe. I'm not sure on that officially yet, but that's still a pretty good result. I'm happy with that. Third in the time trial as well. I mean, I'm ecstatic about how we've done here.
Well, I mean, it is quite unusual for this race for there to be a breakaway so early, which you were involved in, and to stay away all the way.
I know, I was actually pretty shocked that it actually stuck, because this circuit is always just so fast and nothing ever really sticks, but it turned out okay and was able to stick it, so that was great.
I mean, it's a race you know so well, obviously, from last year and your spell in yellow. I mean, it is a race you enjoy.
Oh, I love it here. It's so beautiful, and all the racing competition is amazing. It's great to be racing against other English speakers that are real good, too. I mean, I love that aspect of it. It's great.
I mean, overall, I know you'd have wished to be a bit higher in the GC, maybe in contention going into this final day.
I would have liked to, but it's still quite a reward just to be able to finish the race out like this and do what I did. So,
tell us what else is on the horizon for you soon.
I don't have a huge amount left this road season. I am actually going to Worlds in Qatar, I believe, later in the season, but we'll see what happens if anything new turns up.
Victory in the final stage then for Gage Hecht, who was in yellow yesterday, winning the final sprint ahead of Ireland's Alexis Roach, with Liam Wilson in third, and Charlie Meredith by 3 seconds over Robert O'Leary and Ben Walsh takes the 2016 Scott Junior Tour of Ireland.
So the presentation of the jerseys, and getting the blue jersey as stage winner is of course Gage Hecht of the Hot Tubes team, junior national champion of the United States, and great for himself to take yet another win here at the Scott Junior Tour of Ireland. So taking the white jersey, and that's for the first year junior, a jersey that Eddie Dunbar has worn in his time, is Ben Walsh of the Magnet Nicholas Roach team. Taking the King of the Mountains is Owen McLaughlin of the Connacht team. The green jersey, he was fourth on the final stage, second on the penultimate stage, Colton Brookshire of Specialized, and the most combative is Wyatt Goral.
And there's a few coming after him.
Taking that final yellow jersey is Charlie Meredith of the Giant Halo team, a magnificent winner of this edition of the Scott Junior Tour of Ireland.
I'm really happy, you know, the team did a great job of helping me cover the right moves today and all week, so lost it earlier but got it back, so really happy.
How much resolve needed in order to get back on the podium in the green jersey race?
Well, coming into Gallows, I knew that I needed to get a result. I needed to get some points, and then I was looking to get more points today, but I got more than that. I ended up second, and the team did a real good job of covering and getting me to the foot of that climb and pacing me up it, so I really owe it to them.
What's your highlight of the week been? What are you going to remember, do you reckon, more than anything else?
I mean, I don't think it's going to be any of the finishes or anything. I think it's just being out there whenever it gets really hard and having my teammates by my side, you know, just pushing through all that all week. So, you know, a lot of hours were spent. I think that's going to be the most memorable thing. And
because this does go beyond quite a bit to what a lot of cyclists your age are used to.
Yes, it's definitely a challenge. I mean, you have to put in a pretty good amount of training to even be there for the finish. So if you're not used to long hours, it's not a race for you.
I can't believe I'm going to be on a trophy with some massive names on it, you know. That's unreal.
Have you had a chance to read some of the names on this already? I'm sure you're already aware.
Oh, yeah, you know, Ian Stannard, I think Luke Rowe, obviously Eddie Dunbar, a future star, of course, 2 years in a row, so there's some massive names in there. It's great to see.
That was a very narrow lead that you had to work really hard all week to defend. How did you manage it?
Oh, well, my team did a great job. So all my team did an amazing job just to ride for me, cover some of the moves. And then on Gallows Hill, quite a famous climb over here, I managed to obviously win the stage as well. So I defended that up there. So, you know, even though it was a narrow lead, I feel like I did the job to prove that I kind of deserve the win, you know.
I mean, it was a long lead because you picked up the yellow jersey on Thursday and just defended it quite stoutly for the rest of the week.
Yeah, it was so hard, you know. It was quite stressful. Obviously, 3 seconds is only a couple of meters off the front of the bunch kind of thing on a climb. So I really thought something would happen, but it didn't, and I've kept it. So it's unreal.
This is the result of your life, I presume.
Oh, massively, yeah. This is huge for me. Hopefully, it can lead on to good things next year. So, and that'll lead on to more again. So yeah, this race has done a lot. Hopefully, do a lot for me, kind of thing.
So it's been another great year along the streets of Clare, and your 2016 winner, Charlie Meredith. He did well this week. Goodbye.